Django's incredible journey, courage, resilience, and a new home full of love. It was a morning like any other, until we received an urgent call that froze our hearts. A dog had been impaled on a thorn fence in a neighborhood of Sarajevo. According to the report, he had been stuck there since the night before, hanging and whimpering in pain. The description alone was distressing, but when we arrived at the scene, we came across a scene that would forever be etched in our memories. The encounter that changed everything. When we approached, the dog's fragile moans were almost drowned out by the sound of the wind. There he was, hanging on the fence, his body visibly exhausted and his eyes pleading. It was clear that the pain was consuming him, but then something unexpected happened. Upon seeing us, he began to wag his tail. That simple gesture completely disarmed us. Despite the immense pain, Django, as we would come to call him, seemed to be grateful for our presence even before any help was offered. It was as if he were saying, "Please don't go away. I'm here, help me." It was impossible to contain our emotions at that moment. Rescue in the midst of suffering. Analyzing the scene, we realized the probable reason for his condition. On the other side of the fence there was a small pool, and everything indicated that Django, driven by extreme thirst, tried to jump to reach the water. In the process, he ended up impaled on the sharp stakes of the fence, which pierced the lower part of his belly and reached his testicles. Wasting no time, we carefully removed him from the fence. Every movement had to be calculated because he was seriously injured. Despite the situation, Django cooperated, as if he trusted us completely. The slight wagging of his tail persisted, a gesture that seemed to tell us that he knew he was finally safe. A race against time. As soon as we released him from the fence, we placed Django in a comfortable position and immediately took him to the nearest vet. During the journey, the silence in the car was broken only by his low moans. His willpower was impressive, and that motivated us to continue. Upon arrival at the clinic, the vets confirmed the seriousness of the situation. The thorn had pierced deep into his belly, causing severe trauma. Django underwent emergency surgery, which lasted several hours. Even after the procedure, the challenges continued. The days of struggle and overcoming. Day 1, after the surgery, Django was visibly dejected. He could not urinate on his own, as his penis and testicles were severely swollen. To alleviate his situation, a catheter was placed, and he remained under constant surveillance. The trauma also prevented him from eating, which worried the entire team. Day 2, despite the pain and discomfort, Django demonstrated resilience. His eyes seemed more alive, as if he knew we were doing everything we could to help him. His willingness to fight was inspiring. Day 6, finally, a great victory. Django began to eat and urinate on his own. Seeing his slow but steady recovery brought relief and joy to all of us. Day 20, still undergoing antibiotic treatment, Django faced everything with admirable poise. His wounds were deep and required a lot of care, but he dealt with the pain calmly, always with that look that seemed to thank us for every gesture of care. A warrior with an unbreakable spirit. Despite all the adversities, Django never lost his natural kindness. He was a giant weighing 32 kilos, but with a heart as light as a feather. Every small achievement was celebrated with enthusiasm by everyone who followed his journey. During his recovery, he was given a new name, Django, a symbol of his strength and determination. He still wore a collar to keep him from licking his wounds, but that didn't stop him from moving around and interacting with everyone around him. The promise of a new home. As the weeks went by, Django showed clear signs that he was ready to start over. His wounds were almost completely healed, and his energy was increasing every day. Then we received the best news possible. Django would have a new home, away from the streets of Sarajevo, in a place where he would be loved and cared for the rest of his life. A home is not just a physical space. It is where love, safety, and respect become a constant. We promised Django that he would never again face the thirst, cold, or pain that had marked him in the past. A happy ending, but never goodbye. The last time I saw Django, he seemed to understand that he was leaving for a new life. His eyes, which had previously conveyed suffering, now shone with hope. The farewell was bittersweet, but full of joy knowing that he would have the future he always deserved. Django now lives surrounded by love, with a family that adores him and a space where he can run, play, and grow old happily. He is living proof that kindness and perseverance can transform lives. Thank you, Django. Django, you are more than a survivor. You are a symbol of resilience and gratitude. Thank you for teaching us so much about strength, love, and resilience. You will never be forgotten, and wherever you are, know that we will always be rooting for you. May your new life be filled with smiles, just like the ones you have given us along this journey.